Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
Feisty, fearless, and fair. She's an Emmy-winning journalist from the White House to war zones, telling all sides of the story. This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, just coming in that about 40,000 residents in Orange County, California, are under a major evacuation order as authorities are very concerned about a tank filled with a toxic chemical that it could either leak or explode. So 40,000 residents in Orange County are being asked to evacuate as a precautionary measure. The chemical known as MMA is used in the manufacture of plastics and can potentially cause major respiratory issues if humans are exposed. So this is a very big deal. Meantime, President Trump back at the White House because everybody's wondering he is not attending his son's wedding, Don Jr.'s wedding tomorrow. And why would you miss your son's wedding unless you got something major important going on? He's obviously very close to his son, Don Jr., as he is to his other sons and daughters. But this is a big deal. So we'll keep you posted because it looks like maybe something major could be on the horizon. And we're going to get back to David in New Jersey in 1 minute. But I want to go back to also the big rally today in New York. Because President Trump also came up here with the message that the economy, yeah, there are gas prices that are high. But he also said they're going to plummet very quickly as soon as this is over with Iran. And he also said overall, the economy is strong. Take a listen.
Tremendous amounts of taxes in my first term. We had the greatest, most successful economy in history. And by the way, we're blowing it away in this term. So today, an amazing thing happened. They said it couldn't happen for 4 years. An amazing thing. The Dow Jones hit 50,702. And the S&P is way over 7,000. So these were two things that they said he won't be able to do when I first got elected. They said he won't be able to do that. There's no way he's going to be able to do that in his first term, which is my first term of numerous terms. By the way, you know we're a 3-term president. We just don't want the results.
And he said he expects the economy to continue to soar. He also just has a new Fed chair today. He just swore in Kevin Warsh. So probably lower interest rates are coming soon, and that would be good news for the world. President Trump said, speaking of good news for the world, he has all eyes on Iran. Take a listen.
With Operation Epic Fury, our warriors are ensuring that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran, #1 state sponsor of terror, they send their money all over the world to create problems. Never going to happen, and they're never going to have a nuclear weapon, and they know that. They know that.
That was President Trump speaking there, talking about Iran. And that message that's coming out today, guys, it looks like some very serious action could be happening. We know that so far, not an appropriate deal has been presented by Iran. And that means that President Trump could take some military action. He's not going to put up with Iran not wanting to turn over nuclear material. He's not going to put up with Iran wanting to control the Strait of Hormuz. There's talks that they want to start a toll on the Strait of Hormuz. He and Marco Rubio and others have come out and said, excuse me, it's an international waterway. Can you imagine, first of all, if they allowed Iran to do that? All these other waterways in the world, people would start suddenly saying, well, I'm going to be in control of this one and this one. Why would you ever want Iran to have any sort of oversight of who can come through and then essentially blackmail people that either you pay or else? It ain't going to work. So a lot of people are saying the inevitable may be strikes, and that may happen even in the next few hours, guys. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And let's go back to David in New Jersey. David, thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I wish to reiterate for everybody on Monday, please encourage family, friends, if they cannot attend Memorial Day services, please observe a moment of silence for our republic's fallen. I'll be doing American flags on veteran graves in about 10 hours with the monsoon imminent. And I wanted to point out that for the senior leadership and all the political people listening, all senators and congressmen, if the president is returning to D.C. and you are in a senior capacity of intelligence or on the defense committees, you should go back to the D.C. area, because while I disagree with certain aspects of what's going on, the President of the United States is the commander-in-chief, and the reality is the media will lie by omission, as always. And if you don't like what President Trump is doing, get back to D.C., tell the president, hey, I'm listening. If you wish to advise me what's going on, yada, yada, yada. God bless America, and I would hope that if it is cancer or a seriously debilitating disease, Keen, I'm former Navy. I had to give 9 people in my chain of command a sign-off sheet when I had hemorrhoid surgery. If you have cancer, the American people are respected. But enough is enough. You're collecting a paycheck. You're collecting.
So what, you're wondering where he is? Is that your question? You're wondering where he is?
Rita, he's running unopposed on the June 2nd primary. Whoever the communist Democrats nominate is almost certainly to be another fellow gun grabber in Congress. It is inexcusable. And incidentally, Rita, here's a scoop. When the defense secretary had a prostate surgery, I'm sure Beijing didn't notice that one.
Yeah, well, remember. By the way, remember on that one, like nobody even noticed that he was gone, which spoke volumes. But that's an interesting thing. We'll see where that goes, David. We'll see.
But Keene wrote a letter saying, where were you? Blah, blah, blah. 30 alleged rhinos, probably all gun-grabbing rhinos.
So your point, David, hold on. Your point is what? Where is he now is your point, right? That's your point.
With millions
yes or no?
Of
I'm asking you a
welfare.
question. David, yes or no? Is that your point?
My point is yes. Where is he?
Okay, good. Well, let's see.
If he has cancer, I understand.
By the way, and let's see where he is. That's a good point. We'll see. And also, as you're talking about all the illegal aliens, that is a huge issue, especially in New Jersey, David. My goodness. Like you just said, you got the governor there who rode as a moderate. And as soon as she got in, she started all of those very pro-sanctuary city policies that now, by the way, seem to be happening in New York and Virginia and elsewhere. It is troubling. David, thank you. Really good points and interesting points. And we'll try to see if we hear from Keene, too. It's always good to know. And I hope he is okay, most importantly. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And also, by the way, we are talking also about the rally that took place in New York just not too far from here and just a few hours ago. One of the most powerful moments, I think, of the rally with President Trump. And President Trump, David was just talking about illegal aliens. Well, an illegal alien with a criminal past, a big-time criminal past, remember, came upon Sheridan Gorman. She is the Loyola University student in Chicago. And in the middle of the night, she was out there looking at the Northern Lights with her friends. And the illegal alien just kind of stumbled upon her and shot her. Remember, in the back of the head. It was this horrible case. And then he had the crazy people in Chicago saying, well, maybe she startled him. I mean, that was just horrible. It's really despicable, and it really is a breakdown of the entire system. And Sheridan Gorman's family, they live in New York, and they were there today at the rally with President Trump. Take a listen to what the mother said. This was so emotional.
First, I just want to thank President Trump and Michael Lawler and all of the legislators that believe and protect and are champions for our American children. My name is Jessica Gorman, and Mother's Day was just 2 weeks ago. For most mothers, it meant flowers and cards and phone calls or children coming home. For me, it was heartache and tears. Because on March 19th, my beautiful daughter, Sheridan Grace Gorman, was murdered in cold blood. She was walking on a pier in Chicago with her friends, just a few blocks from her campus. They were hoping to see the northern lights over the Chicago City nightline. Sheridan never got to see those lights. Instead, her life was stolen by a man who should have never been in this country, a man who should have never been set free in that community. And every step, the system had a chance to stop him. And at every step, it failed. And my daughter paid for those failures with her life. No mother should ever have to wonder if her child called out for her in her final moments. No mother should ever have to imagine her baby lying alone and bleeding on the cold pavement. And no family should ever have to bury a child because public officials failed to put innocent American lives first. Sorry. To the mothers of New York, to the mothers of Chicago, Rockland County, and our own beloved Westchester County, and all across this nation who have reached out, who have cried with us and prayed for us and stood with us. I just want to thank you from the bottom of every piece of my broken heart. I see you, I hear you, and I need you to please hear me. Remember Sheridan's face. Remember her light. Remember the life she should have lived. And then stand with us, not only in grief, but in action. Forget political party. Vote with your heart. Support leaders like President Trump, like Michael Lawler.
What a powerful, powerful speech by the mother of Sheridan Gorman, that beautiful Loyola college student who was murdered by an illegal, a major repeat offender who never should have been in this country, never should have been on the streets, and so far, no remorse whatsoever. This is just, it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And President Trump honors these people. He honors those families. He so beautifully always recognizes them and heralds them. And that's so important. And I commend him for making sure that the world never, ever forgets about Sheridan Gorman and sadly so many other families in this country. Let's go to Susan in Corning, New York on line 4. Go ahead, Susan.
Well, yes, the other really touching moment today, and so great, that President Trump also gave the highest civilian medal to the man in the red bandana, which was Wells Remy Crowther.
Oh, yes.
His mother also came up onto the stage. He went up in 9/11, was with his red bandana because he was always trained as a
he was a volunteer, a volunteer firefighter.
Yes, and went up and into those towers and he saved 18 people or more. We're not sure. And that, this is like the heart of our president, the heart of how he just was like so touching for many of us who, witnessed in many ways the tragedy of 9/11.
By the way, Susan, I agree. It was so moving to see that moment. And I remember the guy with the red bandana, the videos and all the pictures of him. He became such a hero as we came to know this guy, only 24 years old. And he was an equities trader. And I think it's so powerful, like you just said, that President Trump is recognizing him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's the highest civilian honor. And he announced it during that stop today, during that rally there in New York. How fitting. And as, of course, we're about to have the 25th anniversary of September 11th. Can't believe it's been that long. And I covered 9/11. I covered a lot of it, Susan. So for me, when I saw that he was recognizing this guy, I think he's one of the best among us in America. And he obviously died, too. Remember, let's not forget, too, because this is a posthumous honor, because he died in those terrorist attacks. And he was leading, I believe, the victims out of the South Tower while it was burning. And think about it, he was just an equity trader who was just an incredible human being, doing the right thing, running in and out. And like you said, this says so much about President Trump, that he had Sheridan Gorman's family there and also had Wells Crowther, his families there, to recognize both of their loved ones who sadly could not be here. That, I thought, just said it all. It was just incredibly powerful. Susan, thank you very much. I'm so glad that you called back so we could talk about that. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222 as we are talking about all of these cases, and especially when you think about Sheridan Gorman, the illegal migrant who never should have been in the country. He had a major rap sheet, and now you got New York State saying, we want to make the whole state a sanctuary state. How is that even legal? And then we also have the head of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen, the new deputy, the new department chief there, the new secretary, and he's coming out and saying maybe we might hold back funds for sanctuary states and cities if they're not doing the right thing. Maybe at airports, maybe we won't have customs, and then they won't be able to take in international flights. There's some really strong purse strings that they could pull on this, because you can tell President Trump and his team are fed up, and so is America, by the way. 1-800-848-9222, and we'll continue when we come back.
It's the Rita Cosby Show. Rita Cosby is on.
And when we come back, we will continue talking about this New York State sanctuary law. Really frightening. It is blocking ICE. They claim to not allow them in parks, hospitals. Also, they're saying that they can't wear masks. They are really losing their minds. And the feds are saying, sorry, we're going to go in anyway.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
The road to the NBA Finals ends here, with star guards setting the tone. The Cavs eye another upset, while the Knicks carry the dreams of all of New York. The Eastern Conference Finals continue on ESPN and ABC.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Cocktails up here feel just right. Is Cambria amazing? All right. Bring a date, your team, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com. See you on the roof.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
And tonight, a lot of people are talking about the fact that Tulsi Gabbard has sent in her resignation. She apparently told President Trump right before that rally in New York, and she said she is resigning as the director of national intelligence. It is the fourth change in the Trump administration. She is citing her husband's cancer diagnosis. Apparently, he has a rare form of bone cancer, and says that she wants to spend time with him to make sure that he recuperates. Obviously, a very serious situation. Of course, she's in our thoughts and prayers. I know Tulsi, and obviously she's an Army veteran, was also a member of Congress, a former Democrat. And she joined the Trump administration, left, many people behind, saying, I am going to do this because I believe in the good of the country. And definitely somebody who loves America, and we wish her so much luck. Also tonight, get this, Hunter Biden is claiming that it was Israeli intelligence that was behind the corruption allegations against him and his father. You heard that right. He's blaming it on Israeli intelligence because everything goes back, of course, to the Jewish state. And there are so many people on the Democratic side that are doing this anti-Semitic rhetoric. It's horrible. You hear it from Zora Mondani. You hear it from Graham Plattner. You heard it from that woman, Maureen Galindo in Texas. And here is another one. This is Abdul al-Sayed. This guy is running for the U.S. Senate from Michigan. And here's a little bit of his vile remarks.
You said the Israeli government is evil. Do you think they're just as evil as Hamas?
Yes, killing tens of thousands of people makes you pretty damn evil. It's not how evil is this one versus that one. Hamas, evil. The Israeli government, evil. We could say both.
Is Netanyahu, in your view,
war criminal?
He's a war criminal?
Absolutely. Do you not think he is? When you conduct a genocide, you're a war criminal.
That's amazing. And he's running again for U.S. Senate. And then, of course, on the Republican side, you got Thomas Massie, remember, who was defeated, of course, by a Trump-backed candidate, a war hero, beat him in the primary this week. And then Thomas Massie, when he lost in his concession speech, he dropped the old Israel word. Listen to this.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrein in Tel Aviv. I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way.
That was pretty shocking. I found that really disgusting when he said that. It was really shocking. Here's a concession speech. He voted against President Trump so many times, and President Trump essentially said, good riddance. Speaking of big issues on President Trump's plate, the sanctuary cities. And as I mentioned, lawmakers have now pushed in the state of New York, and they have signed off on it, the lawmakers. It was pushed by Governor Kathy Hochul of New York, this legislation, to basically enshrine New York sanctuary state status into law. And it's a sweeping ban, which would ban cooperation between ICE and local law enforcement. And it also basically puts a block. It bars ICE agents from most public places like parks and hospitals. And it also prevents ICE from wearing masks in New York. And then they're going after these counties like Bruce Blakeman's county, Nassau County, which is the safest county in America. He has agreed to cooperate, have local law enforcement cooperate with the feds. It's these 287G agreements. And so what she's saying in this new legislation, Governor Kathy Hochul, that she will not allow for that to happen, that she wants to override these special agreements that local counties have. And you would imagine that there will be a lot of lawsuits coming from people like Bruce Blakeman and other local supervisors from all these different communities who are going to say, this is not keeping our community safe. If you want us to move away and not have any cooperation, this is not going to keep us safe. And of course, you got a double-edged sword in New York City, because then you got Zora Mandani, who bashes ICE at every single turn. Take a listen.
We will make it clear once again that ICE will not be able to enter New York City property without a judicial warrant. That means our schools, our shelters, and our hospitals. That means we will protect New Yorkers' private data from being unlawfully accessed by the federal government and stand firmly against any effort to intrude on our privacy.
I mean, it's like, you can't come in. You're the villain. This vilification of law enforcement, it's really shocking. And I think it's going to get a lot worse, guys, as we are heading into the midterm elections. And it's only a few months away, but it's going to be a long few months between now and November. And Graham Plattner has already said that if he gets in the U.S. Senate in Maine, oh boy, he's going to prosecute Trump and all these other folks. He's in the Senate. That's where you remove people. That's where you can remove the president if he gets impeached in the House and then it goes over to the Senate. And there could be other people, like basically other people in the Trump cabinet. They're all under the bullseye, if you will, with this guy involved. And that's a pretty scary premise. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Viviana in Brooklyn on line 2. Go ahead, Viviana, your thoughts tonight.
Rita, I believe that Mandami and the alliance between the leftist Marxists and the Islamists are setting up a really powerful storm that only God can help us with. I was listening to Mark Levin earlier, and he was saying Mandami is even worse than we think. And I wanted to alert everybody. I imagine you may have heard that on May 14th, right in City Hall, he had a whole group of Muslim, the people that were supporting him, and they called it Muslim Day in City Hall.
Right.
So one of those speakers had the audacity to respond to someone that was telling them, you can't do what you think you're going to do here. And she goes, oh, you think we're going to take over? Well, I'm admitting we're taking over. And by
the way, did you hear, Viviana, when there was a Jewish event just a few days ago, there were barricades between him and the participants. Like they put like he kind of had to do it type of thing. I was even surprised he even did it, because he's not marching in the Israel Day parade, breaking total tradition, because, the mayor's march in all these different parades.
Definitely.
And then when it's the Muslim Day, they're sitting on the rug with him and toasting. I mean, that's pretty transparent, the contrast.
Okay, so then, yes, and I'm glad that you're also adding to all of this, is that if Kathy Hochul gets away with doing the sanctuary city, that reinforces sanctuary state, reinforces sanctuary city, and they're trying to bar the very people that will start to apprehend, these sleeper cells. I could see that open up. This isn't even supposed to be cooperated with. This is very, very ominous. We're approaching the 25th anniversary, and people must find out, is the candidate part of DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, or are they affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood or even sympathetic? And if they are, these people must vote the other person in. They're getting it's like a chessboard. They're trying to get the King's Gambit. But I believe God can help us we educate ourselves and we say,
beautiful.
That's a communist. We can't vote for him. If that's a Islamist person that is here for the good, yes, they can hold office. But if they're here to take over America and take the key spots, we have to reject them summarily. It is so important we do that. Thank you, Rita, for letting
agree.
me
Viviana,
share that.
By the way, how beautiful, too, that your heart, too, and turning to faith, that's obviously always a beautiful thing. And to stand up for what's right. I mean, that's the most important thing. Good people have to stand up for what's right. And just like you said, vote them out. If they're not adhering to American values and not adhering to good values for all citizens, then they should not be the privilege of representing individuals, whether it's in New York City or whether it's across this country, in so many cities across this country. Really powerful message. And Vivian, have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Thank you very, very much. Let's go to Eduardo in Tampa on line 4. Eduardo, you're here on the Rita Cosby Show. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Yeah, good evening, Rita. I got to comment on, I believe the U.S. Nimitz is over there in the Caribbean.
Yes, it is,
I would support something like a Maduro Part 2 with Mr. Raul Castro. So the DOJ indicted him because of those 2 shoot-downs that killed 3 Americans.
Yeah, 4 Americans on the Brothers to the Rescue in 1996. By the way, Eduardo, I covered that. I was actually over in Cuba, and I also talked to a number of other members, obviously, of the Brothers to the Rescue. And I was, I think, the only American journalist who got in right after the shoot-down. Yeah. So I was there in Havana, so I know exactly that story all too well. And thank goodness it looks like justice will be coming to Raul Castro. Do you think, though, he's ever going to be in U.S. soil? I wonder sometimes, what's going to happen, because there's an indictment, and that's great. But do you think at 94 they're going to be able to get him and bring him over to face American justice?
Why not? Yeah. Make an example. Yeah. Sure.
I think they should. I agree with, by the way, I agree with you, right? I mean,
yeah, make an example. I mean, let's do Maduro Part 2. Why not? Let's green light it. Let's go.
And I think even more important, because you think about just the horrors that the Castro regime have cast on so many generations of Cubans. I mean, to me, it's so symbolic. And he was the defense minister working for his brother when that whole incident happened. So to me, I had tears in my eyes when I heard the announcement come down, and then you could hear the crowd there in Miami just, so happy, so joyous, so thrilled. To me, that said it all, don't you think? I mean, that is very, very powerful, Eduardo.
It was nice to see a change of the guard over there in Cuba before President Trump leaves office. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that current president is like defiant, saying, we will not surrender, we will not this. Meanwhile, they have no power, they have no lights. They seem to be in utter dying crisis. And that's why, I even left the door open that, if you look at all of the messages that President Trump just put out in a little bit, you look at the messages, and he essentially came out and said that, I'm going back to the White House this weekend. And a lot of people said, oh, it's Iran, and it very well may be Iran, but you can't rule out that it might be even something Cuba related, right, Eduardo? You don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You got that carrier group there.
Fingers crossed we get some good news on that. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that would be amazing. Eduardo, thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. And everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. What interesting times we are living in, guys. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And everybody, this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a very powerful story from Hartford, Connecticut, where Dottie D enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps Women's Reserve in 1943 at 103 years old. She still carries, she says, the same pride she had in uniform. She was at a big event where they were heralding women in service. She's a New Haven, Connecticut native, and she was one of the first in her community to enlist in World War II. She says, well, the main purpose of having women was to replace the Marines that were out in the field. We did the desk duties. As I say, I didn't have a gun. I had a typewriter, but I definitely did what I could to help support the war effort. And boy, how beautiful that she and so many other women have been recognized. And also, as we, of course, are heading into Memorial Day, I want to say thank you.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The Four Seasons is back for season 2, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Marco Calvani, Carrie Kenny Silver, and Erica Henningsen. After a difficult year, your favorite group of friends continues their tradition of vacationing together, now with a baby in tow. From the Jersey Shore to upstate New York and Italy, their getaways are sure to take unexpected turns where comedy ensues. Watch The Four Seasons May 28th only on Netflix.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And as we are heading into the Memorial Day weekend, obviously everybody remember our brave military and those who sacrificed all. That is what Memorial Day is all about, honoring them, their families, their legacy, and honoring this great country, and thinking of so many who died sacrificing for our freedom. Let's never, ever forget them. And to those who run into veterans, make sure you hug them, make sure you appreciate them, and make sure they share their stories with all of you. But this is a somber day. It's not about the barbecues. It's not about all this stuff. It's about appreciating this country and our great military, and those, of course, who gave all. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And let's go to Jan on line 2 in Lynbrook, New York. Go ahead, Jan.
Hi there. I want to introduce everybody to a woman who's a Muslim woman but a free person. She's a conservative Republican. She's running against Ilhan Omar. She's run against her before, and she keeps trying to
What's
be
her name? What is her name, Jan? That's interesting.
Yes, her name is, hold on. Her name is I'm getting confused.
That's okay. That's okay. But we'll look it up. But she's running against Ilhan Omar, and that's an interesting race because she's Muslim. Obviously, Ilhan Omar is, and Ilhan Omar, Jan, has been a little busy because the Department of Justice is looking into her. So that's a fascinating.
Let me tell you her name. Her name is Dahlia, Dalia. Dahlia, and then a space, capital A, and then a dash, and then A-L, rather, capital A-L, then a dash, Al-Qaeda, A-Q-U-I-D-I, I believe.
Okay, great.
That's her name.
And you know what? We'll take a look. Dahlia Al-Qaeda. And boy, that's interesting. Like what you just said, that she is running against Ilhan Omar. That's definitely worth a look. And look, it'd be great to have somebody like her with conservative values, and more importantly, somebody who wouldn't say, at 9/11, somebody did something. That's what Ilhan Omar said. I thought it was one of the most offensive lines. Like, why are we talking about that? That doesn't matter. You know, let's not worry about that little silly thing on 9/11. That doesn't matter. And again, Dalia Al-Akidi is the name. We'll take a look at it. Thank you, Jan, very much. Let's go to Dave in New Rochelle, line 1. Go ahead, Dave, your thoughts.
Rita, my thoughts were, these yeshiva boys in Brooklyn all over. They're all, Rockland, Westchester. They need to be trained to self-defense in their yeshiva.
Wait, who needs to be trained? We missed the beginning there, Dave. Go ahead.
Okay, the young seminary students, the Hasidics, the Chabad people, 770 Eastern Parkway, about the Rebbe. Well, all his followers, these young people, they're good, benevolent, loving young men. They need to be trained. Part of the curriculum during the day in the yeshiva should be to receive self-defense training, because there's so, with the anti-Semitism rising and all the assault on all these different Jewish people.
David, sadly, I actually think you're right in some ways. I mean, I really do. It's how sad that we're in a situation where they do need training. They should have security at a lot of these locations because everybody deserves to be safe. David, thank you. Important topic. And everybody, we're going to be thinking of our military this Memorial Day.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.